Hi guys, welcome back. Or welcome in if you're new. I'm Tessa, and today we're taking on the classic Resident Evil 2. So grab a drink, sit back, relax, and let's jump right in.
A bizarre incident occurred in the outskirts of an American suburb called Raccoon City. It was later revealed that the terrible disaster had been caused by the T virus, a mutagenic toxin created by the international enterprise Umbrella Incorporated for use in bioweapon experiments. The Raccoon City Police Department's Special Stars Unit immediately began investigation in the affair. The case was apparently closed, thanks to the efforts of STARS members Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. But the Umbrella Corporation's experiments were far from finished.
What have we got here?
That guy's a maniac. Why'd he bite me?
Man, what a mess! What could have done this? What was that? What are these things? All right, that's far enough. Don't move! Don't move! No! What's up with that guy? That was a clean hit. I'm running out of ammo here.
Wait! Don't shoot!
Get down! We can't stay out here. Head to the police station. It'll be a lot safer. There! Buckle up.
Okay. What's going on? I arrived in town, and the whole place went
Great.
insane.
The radio's out.
You're a cop, right?
Yeah, first day on the job. Great, huh? Name's Leon Kennedy. Nice to meet you.
Mine's Claire. Claire Redfield. I came to find my brother, Chris.
Hey, could you open the glove box?
Sure. There's a gun inside.
Better take it with you.
Look out!
You okay?
Still in one piece.
That maniac's gonna ram us! Run! Claire!
Leon!
I'm okay. Head to the station. I'll meet you there.
Okay.
They were parted by an unescapable destiny. This is just the beginning of their worst nightmare. I actually recorded a full playthrough of this already, but something went wrong with the audio capture, so the whole thing was basically unusable. So, this is attempt number 2.
Freeze! Who are you? What are you doing here?
Hold your fire! I'm a human!
Sorry about that. I thought you were one of them.
What's going on in this town?
Hold on. I don't have a clue. By the time I noticed something was wrong, the entire city was infested with zombies.
Let's be honest, this game has been done to death over the years. Let's plays, guides, nostalgia pieces, you name it. But since I'm just getting started here, I figured it would make a great choice for the channel's first proper playthrough. Now, I have played this before, so for the most part, I know what I'm doing. We'll be watching the cutscenes and reading the documents as we find them. Most of us know the story by now anyway, and a lot of us probably played this to death back in the day. So we're going to take a more relaxed approach with this, and just see what happens. Just quickly guys, how do we look and how do we sound? All of this is still pretty new to me, and I'm basically just winging it at the moment. So if you've got any suggestions or feedback, drop them down in the comments. I really do appreciate the help, and thank you for being part of the channel. It does feel good coming back to this game after so many years. I don't really have those big nostalgic memories from back in the day. You know, the ones people talk about when they remember gaming from this era. Honestly, I don't remember much from when I was a kid. I just remember that every weekend I'd be in my room playing games on my own. I didn't really have many friends who were into gaming, and the ones that were didn't talk about it much, if at all. So my exposure to games was pretty limited. Like a lot of people back then, we were poor. To the point where if I managed to get hold of a gaming magazine, it was a big deal. I'd read it cover to cover, over and over again. And I'd play the absolute crap out of the demo disc. Lately though, I've been trying to remember some of the games I wanted back then. And honestly, I've got nothing. I can't really remember much of anything. But I do have adult money now, and a job that's only 4 days a week. Once the work's done, we get to leave. So I do have a little bit of time on my hands. Life is a bit nuts at the moment, and it probably will be for a few months. But eventually, things calm down. And hopefully, once things settle down a bit, I'll be able to fully commit to the channel and to gaming again. Because I really want to rediscover the fun of it. Over the last few years, I just kind of got bored with a lot of modern gaming. The live service stuff, the 100-hour epics packed with filler, games that feel like a reskin of the last installment. And of course, the day one patches. You know exactly where I'm going with this. So what I want to do here is go back and play the games I missed out on. I'm not saying I'll finish every single one of them, and I'm definitely not going to force myself to play games I'm not interested in. There are games that show up on almost every top 10 list that I've never played, And honestly, I don't know if I ever will. All right, we're almost at the police station now. I think I've adjusted to the tank controls again, which, by the way, I absolutely love. So let's get in there and properly kick things off. We're just going to avoid the two zombies up top and grab the green herb at the other end. I vaguely remember there being some ammo out here as well, but that might have been from playing it on easy. Or maybe I'm just making it up. This looks absolutely beautiful. It almost feels like coming home after decades away. There's this strange, cozy feeling stepping back in here. It's not really a scary, foreboding place anymore, just an oddly comfortable one.
Oh, man. Who are you? Oh, you must be the new guy. Leon. Sorry, but it looks like your party has been canceled. What happened? About 2 months ago, there was this incident involving zombies in a mansion located in the outskirts of this city. Chris and the other STARS members discovered that Umbrella was behind everything. They risked their lives to reveal the truth, but no one believed them. Not long after that, all this started to happen. Hang in there. Don't worry about me. Just rescue the survivors in the other rooms. Here, take this key card. You should be able to unlock the doors in the hall with this. Now go. But just go.
Fine, but I'm coming back for you. Just hold on.
And of course, it wouldn't be complete without the dodgy script and the wonderfully terrible voice acting. But honestly, that's part of the charm. It kind of ties everything together. I kind of want this game to live up to the memories I have from when I was a kid. I'm a huge horror fan, and honestly, a lot of that started right here with gaming. Resident Evil 2 was the first real survival horror game I got to experience. And back then, it was genuinely creepy. These days, though, not much really gets to me anymore. I have a lot of strange things happen in my house. I'll be sitting here on my own and hear someone walking around upstairs. A door will open, something falls over. And that's just during the day. When it gets dark, things can get a little more interesting. So I'm kind of used to creepy stuff, which means horror doesn't hit quite the same anymore. But I am curious though, what actually scares you guys these days? What creeps you out enough to make you turn the light on? Police memorandum. This letter is just to inform everyone about the recent movement of equipment that has happened during the precinct's rearrangement. The safe with the 4-digit lock has been moved from the STARS office on the second floor to the Eastern office on the first floor. 2236, Raccoon Police Liaison Department. The first time I played this, I didn't even notice the liquor darting across that window. I was completely oblivious to the setup, which is actually a really clever bit of foreshadowing. Shame I completely missed it at the time. That right there is one of the most iconic moments in horror gaming. The first attempt, I fired a few handgun rounds at it, then turned around and ran away in complete panic. I got stuck on the boxes at the end of the hallway, and that was the end of me. Operation Report. September 26th. The Raccoon Police Department was unexpectedly attacked by zombies. Many have been injured. Even more were killed. During the attack, our communications equipment was destroyed, and we no longer have contact with the outside. We have decided to carry out an operation with the intent of rescuing any possible survivors, as well as to prevent this disaster from spreading beyond Raccoon City. The details of this operation are as follows. Security of armaments and ammunition. Chief Irons has voiced concern regarding the issue of terrorism due to a series of recent unresolved incidents. On the very day before the zombies' attack, he made the decision to relocate all the weapons to scattered intervals throughout the building as a temporary measure to prevent their possible seizure. Unfortunately, this decision has made it extremely difficult for us to locate all ammunition caches. It has become our top priority to recover these scattered munitions. To unlock the weapon storage. As stated earlier, it will be extremely difficult to secure all the ammunition. However, a considerable supply still remains in the underground weapon storage. Unfortunately, the person in charge of the card key used to access the weapon storage is missing, and we have been unable to locate the key. One of the breakers went down during the battle, and the electronic locks are not functioning in certain areas. It has become a top priority to restore the power in the power room and secure those locks. Recorder, David Ford. September 27th, 1 p.m. The west barricade has been broken through and another exchange ensued. We sheltered the injured in the confiscation room on the first floor temporarily. 12 more people were injured in the battle. Recorder, David Ford. Additional report. 3 additional people were killed following the sudden appearance of an as-of-yet unknown creature. This creature is identified by missing patches of skin and razor-like claws. However, its most distinguishing characteristic is its lance-like tongue capable of piercing a human torso in an instant. Their numbers, as well as their location, remains unknown. We have tentatively named this creature the Licker, and are currently in the process of developing countermeasures to deal with this new threat. I really love the simple puzzles. Whenever I see a fireplace in a game, my first instinct is always to see if I can light it, just in case it gives me something. Well, my overconfident ass just messed that up. I really didn't want to be using health this early. But there's plenty of it in the game, so we should be fine. And you can't forget rule number 2, the double tap. I'm just going to offload a few items here. Then we'll head upstairs and grab the other red jewel. Operation Report 2. September 28th. Early morning, 2:30 a.m. Zombies overran the operation room and another battle broke out. We lost 4 more people, including David. We're down to 4 people, including myself. We failed to secure the weapons cache, and hope for our survival continues to diminish. We won't last much longer. We agreed upon a plan to escape through the sewer. There's a path leading from the precinct underground to the sewage disposal plant. We should be able to access the sewers through there. The only drawback is that there is no guarantee the sewage disposal plant is free of any possible dangers. We know our chances in the sewers are slim, but anything is better than simply waiting here to die. In order to buy more time, we locked the only door leading to the underground, which is located in the eastern office. We left the key behind in the western office, since it's unlikely that any of those creatures have the intelligence to find it and unlock the door. I pray that this operation report will be helpful to whoever may find it. Recorder, Elliot Edward. So we're just going to push the statues into place here, and that will give us our red jewel. I always struggle a little with these. It feels like you have to be in exactly the right position to start pushing them. And once you get it moving, you have to be careful not to push it too far. Otherwise, you have to leave the room and come back just to try again. Chris's diary. August 8th. I talked to the chief today once again, but he refuses to listen to me. I know for certain that Umbrella conducted T-virus research in that mansion. Anyone infected turns into a zombie. But that entire mansion went up in that explosion, along with any incriminating evidence. Since Umbrella employs so many people in town, no one is willing to talk about the incident. It looks like I'm running out of options. August 17th. We've been receiving a lot of local reports about strange monsters appearing at random throughout the city. This must be the work of Umbrella. August 24th. With the help of Jill and Barry, I finally obtained information vital to this case. Umbrella has begun research on the new G virus, a variation of the original T virus. Haven't they done enough damage already? We talked it over and have decided to fly to the main Umbrella HQ in Europe. I won't tell my sister about this trip because doing so could put her in danger. Please forgive me, Claire.
Leon!
It's good to see you're still among the living. It looks like we're not gonna find your brother here after all. There's no reason for us to stay any longer than necessary. Let's split up, look for any survivors, and get out of here.
Right.
One last thing. Here's a radio. Take it. That way we can keep in touch if anything happens.
All right, we've got the unicorn medal now, so we can head downstairs, grab our first key, and start opening this place up a bit. But before we do that, I'm just going to offload a few things. We've got an extra shotgun we don't need, and we're probably not going to need the first aid spray anytime soon, so there's no real point carrying it around. I've always found the inventory management in this game to be a bit more of a pain than anything that really adds to the gameplay. It almost turns into a little fetch quest, running back and forth, dropping things off. There's never really that feeling of dread that you might have to go back through an area where something could end the run and send you straight back to the title screen. I love these little jump scares. They're like the icing on the cake for me. The first time it happens, it just lands perfectly. I know a lot of people say jump scares are cheap, and that they'd rather have atmosphere and story building the tension instead. But honestly, I think jump scares add something special. They help balance things out a bit, and they give the game a sense of unpredictability. The one jump scare that really stuck with me was from the first Resident Evil. You're walking down that quiet hallway, and suddenly the dogs burst through the windows, the music kicks in, and sheer panic just takes over. Moments like that stay with you long after you finish the game. I'm just going to check out this side of the police station first, clear out a few zombies, grab a couple of items. Then we'll go use the medal and get our first key. The shotgun is really the only sensible choice here if you want to save some ammo. The zombies tend to cluster together quite nicely, and you can usually drop them all with just a few rounds. One little trick I do use sometimes, if I'm not sure whether a zombie is properly down and I don't want to waste ammo checking, is just to leave the room and come back in. Anything that was actually finished off will despawn, which means you can run around without getting munched on. Now I love doing this. Just one clean shot and it's all over. And that sound when their head pops. It's just brilliant. Am I a little messed up, or does everyone else like it too? All right, the room's clear now, so we can open the safe and grab the shotgun shells and the map. I don't even know why I bother picking up the maps in games like this. I rarely ever look at them. I usually just stumble around and figure things out as I go. I mean, there aren't exactly that many places you can go here. And nothing respawns, so you're pretty free to just wander about. Let's drop this stuff off and free up a bit of space. There are a couple more items we need to grab before we can move things forward. I like to clear areas as much as possible before opening up new ones. It helps avoid a lot of backtracking later. It also helps that there are sections you can completely avoid if you plan things out. Especially in those moments where doing something triggers an event and suddenly new enemies appear in certain areas. Planning around that can save a lot of precious ammo. Let's run over to the other side. There are a couple of items we can grab now. We'll have to come back for the important ones in a bit though. I'm actually a little surprised by how many health items are just lying around. There's a ton of ammo too. I don't really feel like I'm ever going to run out. It almost feels like I'm playing on easy. I did briefly look into the regional differences for this game, just to see if that might explain it. Apparently, the Japanese release was a little easier. Zombies had less health, and there were more healing items and ammo. From what I read, that was done because people there tended to play games in shorter sessions. But the American and European versions were pretty much identical. But regardless, it's all about having fun and just enjoying the game. I'm terrible at gaming, as you'll probably see soon enough. I'll happily choose the easy setting without any shame, because I just want to experience the story without having to grind for it. That said, every now and then, I do pick the hardest difficulty. Mostly just to stress myself out and see if I can actually do it. I'd really like to try Alien Isolation on Nightmare difficulty at some point. Maybe I'll do that one day. But for now, let's grab the small key in here before we head back and use the unicorn medal. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything here before we move on. I think we're good to go here. There are a couple of items in the room next to us we still need to grab. And there's something in the room down the hall as well. But we'll come back and grab those in a bit. All right, we've got our first key now. And from here, things start moving pretty quickly. So let's head back around to where we ran into the liquor and open up that room first. We've got the small key now, so we might as well grab some extra ammo. And once we get the other small key, we can go and pick up the handgun parts by the library. Patrol report. September 20th, 9:30 p.m. Reporter, Sergeant Neil Carlson. We received a report of a suspicious individual skulking around the sewers in the outskirts of Raccoon City. I searched the area and located the individual, but he ran away before I was able to question him. I recovered the following items: a small amount of C4 plastic explosive, an electronic detonator, 9x19 parabellum rounds, infrared scope, broken. End of report. All right, we've got the crank now, which means we can get access to the clock tower. We just need the cog to get everything working, and that will give us a pretty important item. But we'll get to that a little later. Right now, though, we need to head over to the library, solve a little puzzle, and grab a few things. Every time I run down this hallway, I'm half expecting those zombie arms to burst through the windows again. I know it's not going to happen, but my brain keeps trying to convince me that it will. Do we ever get to see what's inside this room on the left here? I played Leon's Scenario A loads back in the day, but I never really played Scenario B that much. I think I played it once, but I honestly can't remember if you ever get to go in there or not. I might have to do another playthrough just to find out. Let's clear these guys out quickly. I think this is actually the last big group of zombies in the police station. After this, it's mostly just the odd one or two scattered around. We have some ammo hidden down here in one of the lockers. We don't really need it, but I'm going to grab it anyway. I'd love to know what's behind that boarded up door and what that red light is about. It's little things like this that I used to love. All these small mysteries scattered around the place. They really help add to the atmosphere. I love how the game asks if we want to push the switch, as if we actually have a choice. It kind of feels like the developers were trying to hold our hand a little too much here. Almost like they didn't trust players to figure it out if the switch was somewhere else. Nice easy puzzle here. We just need to move these into position, and that will give us the bishop plug. We need 4 of these chess pieces in total, so we can get access to the sewers a bit later. Let's clear these guys out first. Then we'll drop the ladder so we've got a shortcut down to the ground floor. After that, we can go and check out the other side. It's probably a good idea to save here. We've covered a lot of ground, and I really wouldn't want to mess up now and have to do it all again. We've also got the other small key now, so we can run over to the other side and grab the handgun parts before I forget. This little upgrade is actually quite handy, especially if you need to fire off a few quick shots and stagger a zombie when they get too close. It's not so great for lickers though, but if it's all you've got, it's still better than firing one round at a time. Let's head over and check out the other side properly. There's still quite a bit to do over there, and there's another key we need to grab. There are only 2 zombies in this hallway, so we'll deal with them first before we head outside. The crows in this section aren't really a problem. There's not much point trying to shoot them. We don't actually come back through this area after we've done what we need to do, so it's easier to just run straight through and grab the ammo off this guy on the way. So now we need to go and find the valve handle, so we can dump some water on that helicopter and put the fire out. That will give us access to the room that's currently blocked off. We've got 4 zombies down here, but there's really no need to shoot them. It's easy enough to just run around them, and we won't be coming back through this area anyway, so there's not much point wasting the ammo. We can also grab some more ink ribbons and a bit of handgun ammo while we're here. There's also no real point opening that other door. All it does is let a few zombies in, and it doesn't really benefit us in any way. So we're just going to ignore it. I do remember that's the door you used to enter in Scenario B, though. Let's head back up there and deal with this helicopter. Once the fire's out, we'll be able to grab some handgun ammo from the wreck. Then we can head inside and check out the last room on this floor. I do like how the helicopter just happens to crash directly under the water tank, though. All right, now that we've got that done, we should head back inside. I did step away briefly here, and completely forgot what I was doing and where I was going. That's why I've ended up backtracking a little bit. It's only a small detour though, and the crows don't really do much damage anyway, so it's all good. We just need the red jewels for this part. So let's go grab them quickly and come back. I did notice that I missed some reading material on the counter back there. So in the next video, we'll come back and take a look at that before we head down and enter the parking garage. So I immediately make the mistake of not taking the crank before going up to the clock tower. I have absolutely no idea why I thought that was a good idea. We'll need to grab the cog first anyway. After that, we'll run down to the ground floor and check out the interrogation room now that we have the key. I know I'm not exactly the brightest crayon in the box, and you'll probably see me do stuff like this quite a lot. But does anyone else do this? Like running off to use the crank before you even have the cog, which basically makes the whole thing pointless and just wastes time. And in my infinite wisdom, I've decided to take the longest route possible. I promise I'll try to plan things a little better in future and get all my ducks in a row before I start running off and doing things. So now we have a few minutes of me running around, doing absolutely nothing productive to move things forward. And since we're getting close to the end of the video, I might as well talk a little about what I'm planning to do with the channel and see what you guys think. I've built up a pretty big library of games over the years. I've enjoyed a lot of them, but I haven't actually completed that many. Most of them I started fully intending to finish, and then I just didn't. Either I got distracted by something new and shiny, didn't like the mechanics and gave up, or I just completely forgot I was even playing it. So I figured I need a little motivation to finally push through some of these games, and maybe even discover a few things that completely flew under my radar. So for a while, we're going to ignore most of the new releases, especially since the newer stuff is what caused me to burn out and stop gaming for over a year in the first place. Instead, we'll stick to some of the classics, things like the Resident Evil and Silent Hill games, although I might skip Resident Evil 4 through 6, because I really didn't like the direction the series took when it became more action-focused. I know a lot of people absolutely love Resident Evil 4, but I'm just not feeling it. And in my opinion, it's at least partly responsible for what we got with Resident Evil 5 and 6. And I do like to hold a grudge. But with that said, we all like different things, and we all have our own opinions when it comes to games. So I really want this channel to be a place where people can just enjoy gaming, without feeling like they have to line up with someone else's idea of what's good or bad. I just want to get back to those simpler times, when you could pick up a game and enjoy it for what it is. There will definitely be a focus on horror games here, but I'd like to try and do something a little different with the playthroughs. My love for horror and all things creepy actually goes beyond just games and movies. Like I mentioned earlier, I've had some pretty strange things happen in my home over the years, and that's really what got me interested in the paranormal side of things. I do love a good ghost story, especially ones that have at least a little bit of credibility behind them. So one of the things I'd like to do on this channel is explore some of the stories that are connected to horror games while we're playing them. And eventually just talk about other strange or ghostly things as well, just to give the playthrough something a little different from the usual Let's Play format. So if that sounds like something you'd be into, you might want to stick around. Now let's head over to the interrogation room and grab the last few items for today. Once we grab this next chess piece, I think there are 2 more left for us to find. We'll pick those up next time. We can also grab the wire while we're there, so we can use the window shutters in the opposite hallway. I'm not actually sure there's much point using the wire though, because once we use the cog in the clock tower, we don't really come back through here. But we'll do it anyway. We've got one of those little set piece moments when we grab this next chess piece. So what I like to do is stay close to the window and run along the wall. That way, I can usually get out without firing a single shot. And with a bit of luck, not take any damage either. I've really enjoyed diving back into the world of Resident Evil, even if this is technically my second playthrough. We won't drag this out over loads of videos though. I'm thinking maybe 2 more episodes at most. I reckon we can finish the whole game in about 4 hours, as long as we just keep pushing forward. Let's just do a quick drop off, then go and deal with the shutters using the wire. And after that, we'll go and save. I think there are still 2 more we need to gain access to. And we still need to grab the cog for the clock tower before we can pick up the final chess piece and head down into the sewers. So we'll take care of all of that and more next time. So just to recap, most of the police station has been searched and unlocked, and almost anything that moves has been, I was going to say unalived, but not sure that's the correct word to use here. We left Marvin in the West office to fend for himself. We also have 3 out of the 4 chest plugs, and have closed the shutters in the West hallway. We just need to get the final key for the last 2 rooms, so we can grab the cog for the clock tower, get the final chess piece, and gain access to the sewers. Alright, let's get ourselves set up properly to start things off. We'll drop off the ink ribbon and heal up to give us a strong start to the session. We don't have a lot of inventory space, so anything we don't need needs to go, as we've got a few items to grab and I want to avoid doing loads of little fetch runs if we can. Now that we've done that, we can crack on, explore the last few rooms, and make our way down to the sewers. Now we have the key, we should head over to the West office and check on Marvin. He wasn't doing so good the last time we saw him. I don't like this room. There's very little space to move around, and with this many zombies in here, there's nowhere to escape to. Plus, the camera angles really don't help here. Luckily, we've got a couple of shotgun rounds, so we should be able to take these guys without too much trouble. I still feel like I'm missing something in this room. I remember there being other things you could open, but I'm not sure if that's something we need to do on this playthrough, or if it was part of Claire's scenario. As soon as you step into the room and hear that eerie music, you just know something's about to go horribly wrong. We now have the key that will give us access to the parking garage, which in turn lets us get into the cells. So let's do a quick search of the room, grab what we can, and open up another shortcut while we're here. Then we'll head back, develop the film, and see what was on it. Memo to Leon. To Leon S. Kennedy. Congratulations on your assignment to the Raccoon City Police Department. We all look forward to having you as part of our team and promise to take good care of you. Welcome aboard, from all the guys at the R.P.D. One of the most interesting things about Resident Evil 2 is that the original version of the game was apparently something like 70% finished, and Capcom just scrapped it. Which is kind of mad when you think about it. Most studios would probably look at something that far along, patch up what they could, and shove it out the door. But from what the developers said, the problem wasn't one single thing that was broken. It was more that the whole thing just didn't feel right. The earlier version, the one people usually call Resident Evil 1.5, was much more modern and realistic. The police station was more like a normal building, and it didn't have that weird, creepy, slightly theatrical atmosphere the finished game has. And apparently, that was one of the big problems. It felt too clean, too modern, too sterile. Basically, it didn't feel like Resident Evil. They brought in a screenwriter called Noboru Sugimura to look at the story and scenarios, and he pretty much told them it all needed reworking. So instead of trying to patch it up, they went back to the drawing board. And honestly, it was probably the best call they could have made. That restart is where a lot of the stuff we now associate with Resident Evil 2 really came from. The museum-style police station, the stronger character drama, the weirder puzzle logic. Even the zapping system got added after they restarted development. So if you don't know what the zapping system is, it basically means what you do in one playthrough affects the other. So if you pick something up as Leon, it might not be there when you come back through as Claire. Or if you leave something behind, the other character might end up finding it instead. It's a really clever system, especially for a game this old. And it makes both playthroughs feel connected, instead of just being the same thing twice. A lot of the characters changed as well. Ada was different, Marvin had a bigger role, and even the police chief wasn't originally the absolute lunatic we ended up with. And I think that's why this game still sticks with people. It's not just zombies and guns, it's the atmosphere. My brain has just drawn a complete blank, and I've got no idea where I'm supposed to go next. And believe it or not, just moments ago, I actually had a solid plan in my head. Right, I think what we'll do is head through the east office and unlock the door there. I can't remember what we're supposed to be doing in this next area. Hell, I can't even remember what's behind the door. So, alright, new plan. Let's just wing it and hope we don't mess it up. Does that ever happen to you guys when you're playing something? You're playing a game you know inside out. It's not even a challenge. It's just one of your go-to games. And then, all of a sudden, you haven't got a Scooby where to go or what to do next. I normally get to a point where it's like autopilot has fully kicked in. I'm in that perfect flow. Nothing can stop me. I'm dropping enemies, navigating everything perfectly, and then, for some reason, I just snap out of it. And that's when I realize it's all about to kick off. I'm trying to switch to a stronger weapon, only to realize I never picked it up. There's no health, and I haven't got a clue when I last saved. It's like playing the game for the first time again. Just pure panic, while you're scrambling to get it together and somehow make it look like you had a plan all along. Okay, I can hear the dogs running around down here, and it's really easy for them to get behind you and come at you from different directions. So I'm not taking any chances here. Okay, that didn't go as well as it could have. If I'd reloaded the shotty when I had the chance, I wouldn't have taken that last hit. So, yeah, that's my bad. Sorry guys, I've got a bit of a bad habit of just spamming my way through stuff like this, especially when it's something I already know how to do. So, for anyone who wanted to see what that actually said, here it is. Reserve Power Control Panel. Power can be routed to areas with insufficient power using these 5 switches. Using all the power may cause a short and cut the power supply. I promise I'll try to slow down a bit and take a little more time with things like that. I just need to tweak my playstyle slightly. That was a really easy puzzle though. What's the betting that was a Friday afternoon job? 5 minutes before they were out the door and someone told them to throw a puzzle in.
Sorry about that. When I saw the uniform, I thought you were another zombie.
Who are you?
Ada Wong.
And what are you doing here?
I'm looking for some guy named Ben. He's one of those reporter types, always looking for a scoop. I heard he was locked up in the cell block, only there's a wrecked car barring the entrance. I've been trying to find another way inside. If we work together, we can move this thing. Give me a hand here, will you?
Ada, wait! Let me guess. You must be Ben, right? Get up, now!
What do you want? I'm trying to sleep here.
Is this the guy?
Ben, you told the city officials that you knew something about what's been going on, didn't you? What did you tell them?
And who the heck are you?
I'm trying to find my boyfriend. His name's John. He was working for a branch office of Umbrella, based in Chicago, but he suddenly disappeared 6 months ago. I heard a rumor that he's here in the city.
I don't know anything. And even if I did, why would I want to tell you?
Okay, I say we leave him in there. Does anyone know where they put the key to this cell?
I have it right here, officer. But I'm not about to leave this cell. Those zombies aren't the only things crawling around out there.
What was that?
Like I said, I'm not leaving this cell. Get out of here before you lead it right to me.
Hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm the only cop left alive in this building.
What?
Look, if you want to live, then you're gonna have to leave with me.
But do you even know how to get out of the city? There's a kennel in the back of the building. Inside the kennel is a manhole. Go through and it'll lead you to the sewer entrance, but it won't be easy.
All right, I'm going.
We've got the manhole opener now, so let's go see what's down there. I think I forgot how nice it is to just have simple objectives. Not having to run around to half a dozen locations, jumping through hoops, talking to countless NPCs, just to figure out what you're supposed to do next. Just to make a tiny bit of progress. It's also nice not having to go too far for items either. You can pretty much guarantee you're always near what you need to progress. I've got no idea if these guys can get out, so I don't really want to risk it. Let's just deal with them while they're locked up. The dogs are the one enemy type I hate. They're fast, they come out of nowhere, and if there's more than one charging you, you've got to time your shots properly, or they'll just stun lock you. Over the years, they've sent me back to the title screen more times than I'd like to admit. Just a quick heads up, guys. If you've got a thing about spiders, we've got some big ones coming up in a moment. That was closer than I'm comfortable with. Probably a good idea to swap out the shotgun here. Take advantage of the one round we've got loaded, and grab the other 2 rounds, since there are more spiders running around nearby. This is where we need to use the chest plugs. So we'll go grab those and get that door open.
Ada? I don't think I've introduced myself yet. My name's Leon. I'm with the R.P.D. It's a dead end.
You think we can get upstairs through this shaft? Give me a boost. I'll go and check.
This encounter should have been a lot easier. And it's a perfect example of how they can stun lock you if you don't time your shots properly. We just got really lucky there. I reckon one more hit and we would have been done. We've got a couple of items around here and a basic puzzle to sort out. So let's head down and grab some much needed shotgun ammo first, and then we'll come back and solve that puzzle. Just a quick check to make sure there's nothing else down here. This is a nice, easy one. Just slide the wooden boxes into a line, so when the water rises, it creates a bridge. Then we can head across, grab the last item, and head back to Leon. Let's fill this up and get over to the other side. Perfect. We've now got the last key for the police station. So we can head back and get into the room at the top of the stairs where we found the shotgun ammo. Then after that, we'll head down the east hallway and check out the final room.
Leon, can you hear me?
Ada, did you find anything?
Right here. Think fast. Here's one more. Hey, I can't reach the ventilation hole. I'm going to have to find another way around. I'll catch up with you later.
What? Ada, wait!
We'll come back and use the chest plugs in a bit. For now, let's take care of everything else in the police station first, and then we can push on from there. Sounds like we've got some lickers down here. So the shotty's coming out. That was just dumb luck we stepped back there. It's still getting a few hits on us, but it could have been a lot worse. So I'll take the little win. We've got an area at the end here we can explore, and I can't for the life of me remember what's down here. So let's go check it out quickly before we start finishing up around here. Great, more dogs. Well, we don't really have a choice here, so let's deal with them quickly and hopefully not get stun-locked again. Let's switch to the handgun. The shotty's probably overkill for this, and we're definitely going to need those rounds later on. That was really lucky. We weren't even aiming at it, and we still managed to take it down. Love it when things go in our favor. We don't need anything from here, so let's just see what else is down here. The fence is broken. It is too small for an adult to enter. Absolutely nothing for us down here, so let's head back. Well, no prizes for guessing what's about to happen in here. We don't have a lot of room to move either. So we're going to have to grab what we need and make a run for the door. Look at us, making a plan and actually pulling it off. Let's get into the weapons storage room. There's some really useful stuff we can grab in here. I love how they create a storage room for all the weapons and ammo, then make you work to access it. And there's barely anything worth taking. Don't get me wrong, a few more rounds are always welcome, and I'm definitely not complaining about some extra inventory space. But that machine gun is absolutely useless. I don't think there's any additional ammo for it either. But we'll take it anyway. Sorry, Claire. And future me. Let's go and check out that other room at the top of the stairs where we found the shotgun ammo earlier. Then we can go and deal with the cog for the clock tower. The Magnum is really going to help us out later when we fight the Tyrant. We just need to make sure we grab the Magnum parts from the locker in the lab. And we shouldn't have too much trouble in the final fight. Watchman's Diary. August 11th. I finally had the chance to see blue skies for the first time in ages, but it did little to lift my spirits. I was reprimanded by the chief for neglecting my duties while I was up on the clock tower. There's only one thing I still don't understand. The chief seemed to be more concerned about the fact that I was up on the tower rather than that I was neglecting my duties. Why was access to the tower prohibited in the first place anyway? September 5th. I recently talked to the old man who works in the scrapyard out back. His name is Thomas. He's a quiet man and really seems to enjoy chess. He even went so far as to design a special key and lock engraved with chess pieces on them for one of the doors in the disposal yard. We made plans to play chess tomorrow night. I can't help but wonder how good he is. One thing that's been bothering me about him is the way that he's always scratching himself. Does he have some sort of skin disease? Or he is just rude? September 9th. Thomas was a much better player than I had imagined. I used to think of myself as a fairly decent player, but he did a pretty good job of humbling me. About the only thing I imagine that could match his skills in chess is his appetite. All the guy did was talk about food throughout the entire game. He sounded fairly healthy, but he didn't look quite right. I wonder if he's okay. September 12th. I was supposed to play another game of chess with Thomas, but we had to cancel it because he hasn't been feeling too well. He stopped by to see me, but I told him to go back and rest since he literally looked like the Walking Dead. He insisted that he was just fine, but I could tell he was really having problems. Come to think of it, I haven't been feeling too good myself lately. Guys, we're not too far away from leaving the R.P.D. behind us. And I have to say, it's been nice coming back here, seeing the old place again, the pre-rendered backgrounds, the so bad it's good voice acting, meeting Marvin, and reliving that first encounter with the liquor. But I've got to admit, it doesn't feel the same anymore. Don't get me wrong, I still love it, and I really appreciate it for what it is, and what it was to a much younger me. But this place felt so much bigger back then. It was intimidating, a little scary at times. And now, it feels more like a casual stroll down memory lane, blasting a few zombies while we look for the next key. I think I might have built it up a bit in my head. I came back expecting something closer to how it felt the first time. And instead, it's more calm, familiar, maybe even a bit comforting. And that's kind of the reason I started this channel, to reconnect with gaming and start enjoying it again. And it has been fun, just not in the way I expected. So I'm curious, do you guys get this when you go back to old favourites? Where something you loved doesn't quite match the memory anymore, and ends up feeling like something else instead? I am looking forward to getting into the sewers, and then the lab, and experiencing those environments and challenges again. We're only about halfway through at this point, so it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the game holds up against those memories. because we know some of the best bits are still ahead of us. So this is it, the final room in the R.P.D. we needed to unlock before we head to the clock tower, grab the final chest plug, and gain access to the sewers. So I picked up this film, fully intending to go and get it developed and see what was on it. But in my haste to move forward, I completely forgot to do it. Much like the document I said I'd go back and check out in the last video. I know I need to make good on those, so I'll have a little something at the end of part 3 for anyone who wants to see what was missed. So we've got a nice simple puzzle to solve here. We just need to light these 3 lamps in a specific order, and that will release the cog from the picture on the wall over there. Now that we've done that, we can grab our loot and head to the clock tower. I feel like they could have had enemies respawn here, or given us something else to fight just to make this section a bit more interesting. We haven't really had that many lickers so far, just a handful of crows and a couple of dogs. I'm probably just expecting a bit too much from these older games. Oh well, let's keep moving. There's still plenty ahead of us to take down. I honestly don't know why they thought it was a good idea to have zombies crashing through like that. We're taking the fastest route back to the cells anyway, so we're completely skipping that section. Are we supposed to go that way instead of taking the shortcut? Do we miss any items? Let me know down below. Guess what I forgot to pick up? Again? Oh yes, you guessed it, the crank handle. And I've also somehow managed to take the longest route possible. Well, at least when I mess things up, I do a decent job of it. Luckily, we've cleared everything out, so there's nothing around to slow us down. Except my questionable choices. This is probably a good point for us to save. Last thing we need is another opportunity for me to do a few more laps of the station and still forget stuff. I can't believe I was right here with the film roll in my inventory and still didn't check it out. Now that we've got what we need, let's head back up to the clock tower so we can use that crank handle. Now for the cog, let's just pop that in there. And we're good to go. An old dust chute. Will you jump down? Oh yeah, we're definitely going this way.
No! Get away!
I just love how they've got this big bad tyrant in the cells, and we only get to see those stubby little fingers and that eye on his arm, before he just casually slides out of frame.
Ben! Can you still hear me? Come on, answer!
Damn! I don't believe this. I almost got the story.
Ben.
Bitter irony. The chief of police, a co-conspirator. Get that scum. Make him pay.
Hang in there, Ben.
Oh, my chest! It's burning!
What's wrong?
Good God, what was that?
Mail to the Chief. To Mr. Brian Irons, Chief of the Raccoon City Police Department. We have lost the Mansion Lab facility due to the actions of the renegade operative Albert Wesker. Fortunately, his interference will have no lasting effects upon our continued virus research. Our only present concern is the presence of the remaining STARS members: Redfield, Valentine, Burton, Chambers, and Vickers. If it comes to light that the STARS have any evidence as to the activities of our research, dispose of them in such a manner that would appear to be purely accidental. Continue to monitor their progress and make certain their knowledge does not go public. Annette will continue to be your contact throughout this affair. William Birkin. To Mr. Brian Irons, Chief of the Raccoon City Police Department. I have deposited the amount of $10,000 to the account for your services this term, as per our agreement. The development of the G virus, scheduled to replace the T virus, is near completion. Once completed, I am certain that I will be appointed to be a member of the Executive Board for Umbrella Incorporated. It is imperative that we proceed with extreme caution. Redfield and the remaining STARS members are still attempting to uncover information on the project. Continue to monitor their activities and block all attempts to investigate the underground research facilities. William Birkin. To Mr. Brian Irons, Chief of the Raccoon City Police Department. We have a problem. I have received information informing me that Umbrella HQ has sent spies to recover my research on the G virus. There are an unknown number of agents involved. They must not be allowed to take this project away from me, as it represents my entire life's work. Search the city thoroughly for any suspicious persons. Detain any such individuals by whatever means deemed necessary, and contact me immediately through Annette. With these precautions, any possible threat should be eliminated. I will not allow anyone to steal my work on the G virus, not even Umbrella. William Birkin.
Where are you going, Ada?
To the chemical plant. I have a feeling that's where I'll find John.
Ada, wait! Hey! Do you read me, Claire? We now have access to the back of the parking lot.
Got it.
I'm getting out of here and heading to the sewer. Can you meet me there?
I'm on my way.
Let's go grab those chest plugs quickly and get the hell out of here. I just had a little moment there. Completely forgot where I was planning to go. I'm just not used to working the map by memory yet. But I'm sure over time I'll get better at stuff like this, remembering items and what I need to do. That's the thing about these older games. They don't hold your hand like the newer stuff does. The developers just assumed you were smart enough to figure things out, gave you the bare basics, and let you get on with it. You're only working with smaller maps, and every item has a very specific purpose. If you finish the game with keys or items left over, it means you missed something along the way. And the only way to figure it out was to go back, or start again. And a lot of the time, it would have been something useful, or information that would have pointed you in the right direction sooner. But now, we're so used to constant prompts and massive maps that games kind of have to guide you more, just to stop people dropping off. I was looking into this a bit, and apparently something like 60 to 85% of games don't get completed. And I'm not talking about 100% or trophies, just seeing the credits roll. Which probably says a lot about how big games have become. Maybe things just need tightening up a bit, finding that sweet spot again. Because a lot of work goes into making these games, and it's a shame when most of it never gets seen. I think I've just gotten a bit too comfortable with how modern games are structured, and forgotten what they used to be like. Now that we've got the chest plugs, we can push onwards and explore the lower levels of Raccoon City and see what horrors await us. Now, almost everyone who plays retro games knows to expect some sort of challenge or mini-boss when you're about to move into a new area or when you've just picked up something important. So it's pretty easy to end up in a situation you're not prepared for. This usually ends up with you getting absolutely bitch-slapped by a boss for being overconfident and just not paying attention. And we are about to do just that. That was completely my bad. I didn't pick up any extra shotgun ammo, or make sure we had some health items when I really should have. And I knew that little fight was coming as well. So I had no choice but to just firm it and hope for the best. I think by now you've probably seen my playstyle is a bit more reckless and impulsive than anything else, so you can expect more of that going forward. I reckon we were one hit away from being sent back to the title screen there.
Ada! What was that all about? Running off like that was reckless and stupid. Those zombies are everywhere, not to mention that thing that got Ben.
I was there, Leon. I know.
Look, Ada, as an officer, it's my job to look out for you. But we're not going to get through this alive if we don't work together, okay?
All right. We'll do this your way for now.
Fortunately, we don't have to limp too far. And there's nothing in our way that's going to finish us off this time. So let's get ourselves healed up before we go any further. So let's grab what we need now so we don't have to come back too soon. The valve handle is all we need right now. Oh, and a health spray so we can heal up. So let's get going and head down deeper into the sewers. You know what? Let's save here as well. That was a bit dicey back there, and I really don't want to have to do it all again. Sewer Manager Facts. Use a list of the connecting facility. On the first and third Wednesdays of the month, Angelica Margaret, Chief of Maintenance, will make use of the facilities. Be sure to reduce the moisture levels in the facility by activating the fan, as the equipment she will be using is susceptible to the effects of water vapors. On the 28th of every month, the chemical transporter Dan Weller will use the facility. The chemicals he will be transporting are extremely volatile. Extreme caution should be observed throughout their transport. On the 6th and 16th of every month, Police Chief Brian Irons will visit the facility to attend the regular meetings that take place in the lab. On the 4th Friday of every month, William Birkin will use the facility to conduct a training seminar for the Chicago branch of Umbrella Inc. As the probability of an attack upon Dr. Birkin will be high, take every measure conceivable to guard his life. You will be informed of all other potential visitors and the times they will arrive as needed. Guide these individuals to their destination safely. We expect nothing but the best from you. Charles Coleman, Security Chief, Umbrella Headquarters.
have to talk to her.
So Leon takes a bullet for her, saves her life, and she just runs off to have a chat. Are you having a bubble, babes?
Don't move. You're the one who was with that cop, if I'm not mistaken. Identify yourself. Ada Wong. Ada Wong. I've heard that name before. Now I remember. One of the men from Chicago who came to assist the T-virus research used his girlfriend's name as his password. Ada and John, I believe. How did you know? Who are you? Annette Birkin. My husband is the man responsible for the creation of the T-virus, William Birkin. What? John's dead. He became one of those zombies. My condolences. And although I regret this, you will be joining him shortly. I won't let anyone take the G-virus away from me. G-virus? It's capable of creating the ultimate bioweapon. Its potential is even greater than that of the T-virus. Then that must mean the creature in the police department is... precisely my husband, William. And it's all Umbrella's fault. None of this would have happened if they hadn't tried to steal his research away from him.
This way.
It's sheer perfection. My precious G-virus. No one will ever take you away from me.
There he is.
So you finally come.
Doctor, we're here to collect the G-virus sample.
Sorry, but I won't just hand over my life's work.
Stop! You might hit the sample. That's it, all right. Okay, let's move out.
William! Oh my! Hold on, darling. I'm taking care of that bullet wound first. Stay here.
Alpha team, have you retrieved the sample yet?
Affirmative. We'll be at the rendezvous point in 1 minute.
Roger.
Are you telling me that he injected the G-virus into his own body? The G-virus has the ability to revitalize cellular functions.
What was that? Something's wrong. Let's check it out. Over there! Shoot it! Eat this, you freak! I'm stopping it! What is this thing? Hurry! What is this thing? Fire! Fire! You son of a...
So those rats were the carriers of the virus.
As a result of his virus-induced transmutation, William should have lost any prior memories he had as a human by now. Even worse, every G-virus bioweapon, including William, has the ability to implant embryos into other creatures.
And create offspring. No. Too bad.
I just love how she falls through the bars. And then there's that delayed scream as she's going down. It's the little things like this that just make me smile and appreciate how far we've come since the late 90s. But a small part of me wishes we never left.
Ada?
So, we now need to go and save Ada, even though she kind of left us for dead. But we're going to do it anyway. I suppose she is a little useful to us after all. These guys down here have a few items we really need, so let's grab those first before we head further down and deal with the spiders waiting for us. We probably should have kept the blue herbs on us, but at least we don't have to go too far. I think there are some just a little further along. But at this point, I don't want to leave anything to chance. So let's just play it safe, especially with how close we are to getting into the labs. I got a little distracted there and completely lost my train of thought. But we're back on track now and have ourselves together. So let's head back down and get our hands on the Eagle Medal so we can gain access to the labs. think we should quickly take out the spiders here so we don't get poisoned again. Blue herbs are limited, but so are the spiders. So if we can get rid of at least a few of them, there shouldn't be too many problems when we come back through. We might as well use up some of this handgun ammo, as I don't really want to use any shotgun ammo here, as we're going to need that later on, as there are plenty of things ahead of us that will need a bit more power to take down. Okay, let's just take a chance here and run past them. Once we're through this door, we don't have to worry about them, at least until we come back with the medals. And if we're quick, we might get through without a problem and save a bit of ammo. I know one of the bodies under the water has something we can use, but I can't remember what, so we'll have to check them all quickly. If the spiders get too close, we'll deal with them then. The first time I played this on my old CRT, I couldn't see what Ada was shooting at in the water, and it scared the absolute crap out of me. I wasn't expecting that at all. And it was pure luck that I figured out how to take this thing down in one shot. Since then, it's been one of my favourite moments in the series.
Leon.
This bullet wound isn't making things any easier.
Quiet, Leon. I'll patch you up. That's 2 I owe you.
Don't mention it.
I just found out. John's dead.
What?
Never mind. Let's just get out of here. The sooner the better.
Let's go and get our hands on the Eagle Medal. There's nothing else we need to do around here, so there's no point hanging around. And once we get into the labs, things will start to ramp up a bit. We've got a couple of big fights coming up, so there's a lot to look forward to. Sewer Manager Diary. June 28th. It's been a while, but I saw Don today, and we talked after completing our work. He told me he had been sick in bed until yesterday. It really doesn't come as much of a surprise, given how long he has been working here. He was sweating like a horse and kept scratching his body while we were talking. I asked if he was hot, but he just looked at me funny. What's wrong with him anyway? July 7th. Chief Irons has been visiting the lab quite often lately. I don't know what he's doing over there, but he always looks grim. The expression on his face has been even more unsettling than usual. My guess is that it's because of Dr. Birkin's impossible requests. The chief has my sympathies, though. After all he's done for the town, he doesn't deserve this. July 21st. I rarely drink because I'm on the graveyard shift, but I don't suppose I have much to complain about since this is how I make my living. August 16th. Chief Irons came in late today, looking grimmer than his usual self. I tried to joke with him to cheer him up, but he wasn't amused. He pulled his gun and threatened to shoot me. I was able to calm him down, but that guy must have some serious problems. He knows he can't enter the lab without my help and my medal. This is what it means for the chief to serve and protect? August 21st. William informed me that the police and media have begun their investigation on Umbrella's affairs. He said that the investigation will be city-wide and that there is a possibility they'll even search through the sewers. He asked me to suspend all Umbrella sewer facility operations until the investigation was concluded. The sewer will still be used for passage, but he stressed that I have to be extremely cautious and that I'd lose my job if anyone finds out about this operation. Guys, this feels like a good place to wrap things up, so we're going to save here. We're not far from the labs now. We've got both medals, and we're in a good spot with health and ammo. Once we're down there, it should be pretty straightforward. Not too much left to do before we make our escape. If you enjoyed hanging out with me, stick around. There's plenty more coming. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon if you want to stay up to date. It really does mean a lot and helps the channel out. Thanks for being here. Let's get this platform lowered. Then we can go and take care of those spiders quickly. After that, we'll head back and drop off anything we don't need before we take the Skytram and head to the labs. I was not expecting that spider to charge us as soon as we came through the door. I thought we'd at least have time to drop down into the water first. And I'm not sure what happened with it trying to poison us, but it worked in our favor, so I'm not going to complain. I really should have thought this through a bit more and used the medals before coming back through here so we could have drained the water and made this a bit easier. We still need to come back and check the bodies. I'm pretty sure one of them has something on it, maybe handgun or shotgun ammo. But it won't take a minute to sort that out, so let's just go get ourselves sorted first. I was just double checking there wasn't anything I missed earlier, but we've already cleared it all out, so we can crack on. I was just having a moment there trying to decide if it's worth taking the machine gun or not. We do get another chance to pick it up between here and the labs if we change our mind, but it's probably best to just take it now. There are a few things to deal with between here and there. We'll just get the medals in place, then run back and deal with the zombies before checking out the bodies hidden under the water. I don't like leaving things behind if I can help it. There have been plenty of times where I've missed something that would have made things a bit easier, or saved me from having to redo entire sections just because I rushed through thinking there was nothing to grab. Probably cut apart by some sort of edged tool. I guess I was wrong about there being an item on them. Could be I'm remembering something from playing on easy. Or I'm just making it up. But now we can go and grab the Sky Tram, which will take us to the next section, and from there we can get the train down to the labs. A control panel for the Skytram. Will you turn the power on? This is a nice, easy section. You always know where the tyrant's arm is going to come through, thanks to those little bits falling just before it appears. I didn't realise how much handgun ammo we used there. We're actually left with very little at the end of this fight. But we've still got plenty of shotgun ammo, plus the machine gun, and the Magnum too, which we're definitely going to have to rely on soon. There are a few things we need to pick up around here. First up is the key to the weapons box, which we'll use later in the labs. We've also got a shotgun attachment, which will make it even more powerful. Plus, there's some ammo and a health spray as well. Once we've grabbed all of that, we can move on to the final area. The key to the weapons box is really easy to miss. You need to use the lighter on this flare launcher here to reveal where it is. It's little things like this that make exploration so important. You never know what's hiding away. When I first started playing this, I didn't have a clue. I must have completed the game at least 10 times before I finally stumbled onto it. In this section, we just need to clear out the zombies. For the most part, they'll make their way to us, so we can pick them off one at a time from a distance. Ada is really useful here as well. If you slow things down and fire one shot at a time, she'll shoot them too. It does feel a bit random when she decides to shoot, but for the most part, she's on point and will save you some ammo. It is a bit of a pain having to wait for them to come to you, and you should be careful if you decide to step out. Once they're dealt with, we can run round and grab the shotgun attachment before heading into the last save room before the labs. It's also a good idea to use an ink ribbon, you know, just in case. Now that we've got the shotgun parts combined, this thing will absolutely obliterate zombies. And it's pretty damn good at stopping just about anything else we pointed at. We've got another little section here with some zombies. Just be patient and they'll come to you, and Ada will help take them down. Once you've cleared them out, you can run down and grab some green herbs. Just be careful of any stragglers. I nearly ran straight into one of these guys, but luckily, Ada was on hand to help. Unlike Sheva in Resident Evil 5, who is quite often the reason you met your end and had to restart entire sections, only for her to screw you over even sooner on the next attempt. I just wanted to make sure we had everything we need before this next section, and I couldn't quite make up my mind whether to save or just throw caution to the wind and be a bit ballsy. I've got a really bad habit of trying to just firm it no matter what I'm fighting. But ultimately, I decided to pretend we're a tank and don't need to save. So let's head out, grab a bit of ammo that's hiding over the back by the barrels, then we can grab the map that we won't bother looking at before we head off to our final destination. Just doing a quick check around the train, as I've got no idea if there's anything here for us to pick up. This is one of those areas I didn't bother checking the first time I recorded, but we're all good and we haven't missed anything. Well, I clearly didn't think this through, as usual. We need to run back and drop off the Magnum rounds, so we've got space to pick up the key we need before we can move on. Was just contemplating saving again, but decided against it. We should be fine. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? This is it. The point of no return. Well, unless I completely mess this up.
Ada! Ada! Can you hear me? Come on, snap out of it!
Looks like we're locked out for a bit. And we pretty much have nowhere to run. Things are going great, as you can probably tell, and I'm just here second-guessing my choices and making up the plan on the fly. I had absolutely no idea I'd already done that much damage to him. I was half expecting to run around that corner and get us into a bit of trouble, as there's not much room to move at the back of the train. But, as luck would have it, our friend here is cooked, at least for now.
Don't die on me, Ada. Come on! Wake up! Come on! Welcome back. Hey, take it easy. We're inside Umbrella's secret lab. I'll go find something to treat that wound, so just rest here in the meantime.
But I'll only slow you down with these injuries. Go, save yourself.
I I told you, it's my job to look after you.
But you'll be in danger if you stay with me. I know I've only known you for a short period of time, but I really enjoy being with you. I know I'm not capable of caring about anyone, but I don't want to lose you.
We're leaving this place together. Wait here for me. I'll be right back.
We've got a couple of items to grab in here before we go off exploring. And it's probably a good idea to save here as well. We really haven't got much left to do before we take on the Tyrant one last time. And I don't want to mess it up and send us all the way back to our last save. It's actually quite interesting when you look into how this part of the game was originally planned. Because what we ended up getting here, especially towards the back half of the game, is a much more condensed version of what they initially had in mind. When they were developing Resident Evil 2, after scrapping the earlier version of the game, the new scenario writer, Noboru Sugimura, worked on restructuring everything. And one of the things that came out of that was a much larger scope for what happens after the police station. Originally, the plan wasn't just to go straight from the R.P.D. into the sewers and then down into the lab. There were ideas for more sections in the city itself, a kind of transition between areas, and even an early concept where you would revisit the Spencer Mansion from the first game, tying everything together a bit more directly. But a lot of that ended up getting cut, mainly because the game was just getting too long, and they needed to tighten up the pacing and keep things focused. And I think you can really feel that here, because once you leave the police station, everything starts to move a lot quicker. The sewers don't last too long, and then suddenly, you're here, in the lab, which feels like it should be this big final stretch, but ends up being quite short compared to what came before. So it's not necessarily that the lab was meant to be small. It's more that the entire second half of the game was originally part of something much bigger. And what we're playing here is the streamlined version of that idea. Let's head into the big freezer room and get the fuse sorted, so we can power up the other sections and gain access to the rooms on this floor before we head down to the lower level. We do have a health spray to pick up in here. I know we don't really need it, but I'm going to grab it anyway. It's more out of habit than anything else. Plus, it saves us having to run back to the storage chest later if I mess up. Now we've got that, let's get the fuse sorted. I'm eager to push on and get into a fight. A control box used for super low temperature experiments. I could set the superconductor fuse here if I had a fuse case. Okay, now that we've got that sorted, let's go and pop it into place, then head over to the west side as we've got a few things to take care of over there. Just a quick check here. I can't remember if this section is open yet or if we need to do something first. We do need to grab a keycard before we can get in here. So let's head down deeper into the labs. I'm pretty sure this room and the one connected to it are optional. But there's some really good stuff to pick up here, so it's definitely worth going through. There's a flamethrower, some shotgun rounds, and maybe a couple of other bits as well. But we're fully loaded at this point, so we're going to have to run back, drop some stuff off before we can carry on. The limited inventory space is probably the one thing I have an issue with. It does add tension on that first playthrough. You never really know what you'll need, or when you'll need it. So I get why you end up going back and forth, trying to find that balance between what you carry and what you can leave behind for a bit, just to make space for new items. I like the system, and I don't. Maybe if weapons were stored separately or something, I'd feel a bit better about it. But it is what it is. We haven't got far to go anyway. I'm probably just moaning for the sake of it. I hadn't realised how much handgun ammo I'd used up to this point. I did think for a moment I might have put it in the storage chest by accident, and I was trying to come up with a reason why I'd run out. But it turns out I've just been a bit too trigger happy with the handgun, and the rapid fire probably didn't help either. Now that we've got rid of those guys, we can quickly make some space before we get back to what we were doing. We're going to have to rely on the machine gun for a bit. As awful as it is, it should help us out for now. I want to try and save as much of the stronger ammo as possible for the final fight. I know we probably won't even need half of what we've got, but I still don't want to take the chance. I know I said we'd rely on the machine gun for a bit, and we will. I'm just swapping things around here. Both weapons take up 2 slots, so it just makes sense not to use 4 slots for 2 weapons. An elevator. Pressing the button has no effect. It hasn't been used for a long time. Laboratory Security Manual. Security measures in case of an emergency. In the instance of an uncontainable biohazardous breakout, all security measures will be directed toward the underground transport facility. In the instance that any abnormalities are detected among cargo in transit, all materials will automatically be transported from the landing zone to the designated high-speed train, at which point all materials will be isolated and disposed of immediately. In the instance of a Class 1 emergency, the entire train will be purged and disposed of without delay. In the instance that the lab itself becomes contaminated, the northernmost route currently used to transport materials to and from the facility will be designated as the emergency escape route. This route will secure passage to the relay point outside the city limits. Disclosure about any information regarding research conducted here or the existence of this facility is strictly prohibited. Since it is top priority to keep all research classified, escape access may be denied under certain extenuating circumstances. The console says, anti-BOW gas sprinkler. Will you turn on the switch? This shotgun upgrade is awesome. 2 lickers down with 2 rounds. We definitely won't have too many issues while we've got this. We've got 2 rooms down here to check and not a lot to do. We just need to grab a key card and use the computer before we head back up for the final room. That last licker took a few shots to put down, probably due to the distance. I should have got a bit closer there. But we're all good. We didn't take any damage, and we've still got plenty of rounds left. forgot we need the key card before we can get into this room. So we'll head over to the other side, switch back to the machine gun, run in, grab the card, and then come straight back. We've also got the Magnum parts in here, and we definitely want to grab them. It makes the Magnum extremely powerful, and it's very effective against the Tyrant. We want to stick to controlled bursts as much as possible so we don't waste ammo. We just need it to carry us through this room, then we can forget about it and switch back to the shotgun until the final fight, as there isn't really much in our way now. Now that we've got the all-important keycard, we can access the other room upstairs. We just need to get to the computer in the other room. Well, this has to be one of the most pointless enemies in the game, and it's really easy to take down. It does feel like it was added last minute just to put something in our way before getting to the computer. While we didn't find the file that gives us the correct username, it's simple enough that you could probably guess it if you needed to. But I remember it from the last playthrough, so we're not going to be standing here guessing it for the next 5 minutes. Now we just need to head up, clear the final room, and grab the last couple of items. While we're here, we might as well dump the flamethrower. Grab the Magnum and pick up any ammo we're going to need. Just had to check what damage we'd taken. I couldn't remember if they do poison damage or not. But we're all good. We've only taken minimal damage here. So let's push on. We've got some health and ammo to pick up in here, as well as the MO disc. Plus, there's a small group of zombies to deal with.
You murdered my husband. I know what you're looking for. You came for the G-Virus, didn't you? But you'll never take it from me. This is my husband's legacy. Now, where's that spy you were working with earlier? You know who I'm talking about.
What?
You really don't know anything, do you? You're so gullible. She's one of the operatives sent here by the agency. The only reason why she came here is to obtain the G-Virus.
That's a lie.
No, it's the truth. I discovered this when I did a background check on her. She specifically got close to John and became his girlfriend to get information about Umbrella.
That can't be. I know her. Ada wouldn't do something like that.
If you don't want to believe it, I don't really care. You're about to die anyway. What happened?
self-destruct sequence has been activated. Repeat, the self-destruct sequence has been activated. This sequence may not be aborted. All employees proceed to the emergency car at the bottom platform. All employees proceed to the bottom platform. All employees proceed to the bottom platform.
Leon. I've been waiting for you, Leon.
What are you doing?
You know what this is about, so just hand over the G virus.
I don't believe this. Annette was right. About everything.
That's why I told you to leave without me, but you wouldn't listen. Now hand it over. Don't make me shoot you.
You can't do that.
Oh.
Ada! Ada! I've got you. Don't give up.
Leon, it's over. Just let me go.
Shut up. You're gonna make it.
It's too late, Leon. We both know it.
No! I promised you that we would escape. You just have to help me out here.
I really wanted to escape with you, Leon. Escape from everything. Goodbye.
Ada! No. So, this is what everyone's been dying for.
All employees proceed to the bottom platform. Repeat, all employees proceed to the bottom platform. Repeat, all employees proceed to the bottom platform. Repeat, all employees proceed to the bottom platform. All employees proceed to the bottom platform.
We are coming to the end of our Resident Evil 2 playthrough. It's been really good coming back to this after all this time. I'd forgotten how much I enjoyed the tank controls, the fixed camera angles, and just the simplicity of it all. It's not really challenging anymore, and it's definitely not as tense or scary as it used to be. But it's like spending time with an old friend. It's a comfort game, something you can just settle into and know exactly what you're getting. Every enemy placement is predictable. Their attack patterns don't change. So for me, it's pretty much a zero pressure game. But I don't know if I'll come back to it again anytime soon. I lost count of how many times I played this back in the day, and I genuinely loved every minute of it. And that's why I chose this as the first proper playthrough for the channel. I'm still learning everything that goes into content creation. I'm not naturally that chatty, and I've always kind of gamed on my own. So doing commentary like this feels a bit strange. And sometimes it's a struggle to put my thoughts into words, especially doing it after the gameplay's been recorded. So I guess starting here just made sense, rather than jumping straight into something completely new. We'll come back and do Claire's scenario at some point, but for now, we've got one last fight to finish before we make our escape.
Minutes until detonation.
It's time to make our escape, so let's make a run for it. We don't have far to go now.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
It's over.
No. I have to find my brother.
You're right. This is just the beginning. Goodbye, Ada.
If you enjoyed hanging out with me, stick around. There's plenty more coming. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and hit that bell icon if you want to stay up to date. It really does mean a lot and helps the channel out. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. So for those of you who've stuck around, we've got that film roll to develop and the file from the office to check out. So let's take a look and see what we missed. Pictured in front of the Aruka's tailor. Regressed into a zombie within 2 hours. Subject repeatedly complained about severe agitation of the epidermis, in addition to feeling of nausea. This happened up to the moment he lost consciousness. Pictured by R. Lambert. Now let's head up a floor and check out what was in that file. Secretary's Diary A. April 6th. I accidentally moved one of the stone statues on the second floor when I leaned against it. When the chief found out about it, he was furious. I swear the guy nearly bit my head off, screaming at me never to touch the statue again. If it's so important, then maybe he shouldn't have put it out in the open like that. April 7th. I heard that all the art pieces from the chief's collection are rare items, literally worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know which is the bigger mystery, where he finds those tacky things or where he's getting the money to pay for them. May 10th. I wasn't surprised to see the chief come in today with yet another large picture frame in his hands. This time it was a really disturbing painting depicting a nude person being hanged. I was appalled by the expression on the chief's face as he leered at that painting. Why anyone would consider something like that to be a work of art is beyond my comprehension. Thanks again, guys, and sorry for missing this in the playthrough. I'll do my best to grab everything as we go in future. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.